Hello and thank you for tuning in. Today I will be replacing my threaded bottom bracket. So let's do it. Okay, so we've got the bike set up. This is the bottom bracket that we're going to remove, and here is the replacement. We're going to be making use of this tool to remove and install the bottom bracket and some Allen keys. Okay, so before we can do anything, I need to get rid of the cranks. I don't want to throw them away, I just want to get them out of the way. They have to be out so that I have access to the bottom bracket. But before we remove the cranks, we are going to remove the chain. The chain out of the way, cranks out, and then we're gonna remove the bottom bracket. So let's do that. So if you want to get the drive side crank out, I have this chain guide that is in the way at the moment. The chain ring's gonna bump it. So there is a little bolt there, little Allen cap bolt that you can undo and just slide this up, and then this will come out easier on this side. That looks okay, I think. Okay, so for the Shimano setup that I have over here, you need to loosen these Allen cap screws on either side. That will relieve the tension, and then when the tension is relieved, there's like a compression cap in here which you can then loosen, and then with the bolts loose, there's a little plate here in the middle that's got a guide that goes right into the shaft of the drive side crank. So you have to loosen all that to get this side of the crank off, the non-drive-in side, so that you can pull the crank setup out on the drive-in side. Now for this little compression cap that you have over here, you get a specific tool, but I made my own one. It fits in there perfectly. This cap does have a plastic thread, so you don't tighten it very much. You just basically get it in its place, and then you tighten these Allen cap bolts that would then cause tension on this cap and keep the crank setup in its place. Very loose. It's a good idea to clean all these things before you put them back. So we're gonna do that for the reinstallation. Okay, so on these threaded bottom brackets, you have these indications that will show you which direction you need to tighten. So obviously to loosen, we're going to have to turn it in the opposite direction. This is the new one. The old one should have those indications as well, but we're going to loosen it and remove the old bracket. Look, it's nice and dirty on the inside there, so we need to clean this all up. Now it's nice and clean. Okay, so what I noticed when I removed the non-drive inside is there is a spacer. When removing this whole setup, it is important to put everything back the same way that you had it, unless there was something wrong with it in the first place. Then you need to make a plan. But luckily with the new bottom bracket, inside the box they've got spacers. If I remove them, you see there's a bunch of them over here. So we're just gonna take the same one in this bunch. We will take the very thin one, and this goes on the non-drive inside. Okay, for reinstallation I'm going to take the drive inside off and install that one first. Then I'm going to take the spacer, I'm going to put it onto the non-drive inside, and then I'm going to install the non-drive inside. Before we do the installation, I'm going to just put some copper compound onto the threads, you know, just to protect the threads. Okay, drive inside. Okay, we are ready now to install the cranks. I just want to show you on the new bottom bracket, they pre-installed grease on the inside where the cranks go in. You see there's greases there on the inside. Line it up is the difficult part. Okay, before we put this little compression cap on, just clean it a little. Maybe it's easier to thread it in by hand. Make sure you catch the thread. Don't want to damage because it's plastic. You basically don't even need this tool. Got screwdriver fingers. Okay, we're going to just give it one little grab. Make sure it's nice and tight. This little plate that will line up everything. So this setup is a little weird. You can't tighten the one side and then tighten the other side. If you start tightening on the one side and then move on to the next bolt, you will find that the first bolt is slightly loose again, and then you have to tighten that one again, and then as soon as this one is tight again, you have to tighten the other one again. So the way I do it is I tighten the one side until it's tight, and then I tighten the other side until it's tight. Then I go back and forth until I'm happy with how tight both of them are, and then I am happy. Okay, so off camera I had to remove everything again, take everything apart, because the chain was rubbing against this chain guide. So when I removed everything, I only noticed that there was one spacer on the non-drive inside. I didn't notice that there was another spacer on the drive inside. So I had to remove everything and then put in that spacer and then do the whole job again. But it works now. So there you have it. I removed the old threaded bottom bracket, I replaced it with a new one, and it was as easy as that. So if you have to relate the press fit bottom bracket with the threaded bottom bracket, I think this one is a little easier to do. You basically just need the one tool, where with the press fit you need that whole press fit setup. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something today, and I'll see you in the next one.